Life as a local in Hyrule really is swings and roundabouts. You've got some of the most magical scenery you could ever ask for, but you're always at the mercy of some big angry ginger bloke. You can enjoy the peaceful country farming life, but your daughter might get pinched by a goblin on a pig. Stressful, ain't it? But you know what isn't stressful? Sitting down with a nice cold beer at your favourite spot. This version of Hyrule has so many incredible spots to choose from. Bustling town centre, cliffside waterfall, and even some hidden bars. How could you pick just one spot? Well, that's where I'm going to help. Today, we're going to take a trip down memory lane, exploring the light and dark to finally answer the age-old question. Where is the best spot for a beer in Twilight Princess? Joining me today, I've got James and Lorenzo. They've never played this game before, so they've got a fresh perspective.
Wait, he's just fucking transformed into a wolf.
Can you do the wolf noise for me? Lorenzo, give us a wolf. Starting at Orden Village is a bit too obvious. Let's spice it up by beginning our quest slightly north. I want to kick things off by starting this adventure at my favourite area of the game. I used to spend so much time here. I'd be willing to bet that I've spent more time here in the fishing hole than in the rest of the entire overworld. This place is absolute class. Fishing for me over the years has evolved. When I was a kid and I went with my granddad, I enjoyed it, but I wasn't keen on the waiting. The thrill of catching a fish was great, but sitting still as a child is not. But as I got older, the best part of fishing was the waiting. Like the fishing was just an excuse to sit by the lakeside with your boys and sip a couple beers. This is the first place that came to mind when brainstorming for this quest. I reckon the vibe would be immaculate whilst out on the water. Float a crate of your choice beer in the net and appreciate the break from the action outside. There's a lot going on in Hyrule, and here you can escape the noise. This has to be a contender for the relaxing beer category. I asked the boys if they had any fishing experience. James, did your dad ever take you fishing?
No. My dad never fished.
You ever been crabbing? I've never been crabbing.
I went crabbing in Plymouth once while I was pissed.
It's like James' sentence generator. I went crabbing whilst I was in Plymouth and I was pissed.
Yeah, so we bought these cheap old crabbing lines.
Did you catch and crab?
I caught 2 crabs.
Were they not edible?
Between you and me, I wouldn't trust a crab that I've pulled out of a harbour.
I wouldn't trust a Plymouth crab on a good day.
Yes, the boys have been fishing. Where? May you see that cave there?
What, this ominous one? Or this ominous one?
That's what your fucking mum's vag looks like, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Mate, you know it stinks, bro.
Have you ever had a situation where it stinks though? Because I actually haven't.
Have you not?
No, never.
No.
I have, but only in the form of a committed relationship where I didn't want to say it. I just got on with the job, you know.
Really?
Was it the fat one?
That doesn't narrow it down, James. Our first entry into the tier list is a banger. It's going in unreal. No messing around here. To get to our next location, just downstream, you'll have to rent a kayak. The journey down there is a bit ridiculous, and once you get down there, you'll be met by Hyrule's version of Benidorm. See, you might look back and think of Lake Hylia as a classy place. Everyone knows that a bridge is posh. Even posher than that, though, is a forest lakebed temple. But as you look over the horizon, you'll notice something jumping out. This is Hyrule's stag do destination number 1. Think about it. We've got the lucky man. His business is to shoot you out of a cannon up into the sky, at which point you'll land in a house and meet his pal, who will then instruct you to hurtle yourself off of a large cliff attached to a chicken. If this ain't lad's holiday, I don't know what is. Not that any of this is a problem, mind you. And if you want to get away from that nonsense, you can always perch up here with a beer and take in the view. One thing though, I would be careful of the heights and make sure you've packed your speedos when you want to fling yourself into the drink. Yeah, go on in. This is actually a shortcut to Shap. Instead of taking the M6, you take this instead.
Mate, it's like Shadow of Colossus.
It's the shadow of the M6. Welcome to the Bagman Power Hour. I've had 16 beers and I'm pissed. I've just come back home from the pub and I thought it'd be a good time to do a little voiceover, obviously. We're up here with the bad boys, but it's not all that. It's a bit dangerous, and there's a dragon flying about, so... But if you go into the shop, they do have Red Potion, which is one word away from being Red Stripe. This place is a bit confusing, its only inhabitants is like these chicken fellas. So like who's this built for? Who built it? Who lives here? Whose gaff is this? You know? Is this all for the chicken blokes? I don't get it. Back to you in the studio. The Gerudo Desert is a bit too hot for my British pasty skin, so it's a tough sell for me. I don't even think the crispiest, coolest Peretti in the world is going to cool us down. One positive is that you can politely procure a hog and take it for a joyride. Would you get done for drink riding?
You've ridden a few hogs in your time, haven't you, Kabagman?
I have. If you fancy scaling to the top of the Arbiter's grounds, you'll find an interesting spot. The Mirror of Twilight can be used as a background for a contemplative beer. Sit and reflect about the journey type of job. You can also do some pop shove-its on your handy spinboard. But that's all of our canon-based destinations ticked off the list. I'm gonna give this one a miss. Probs not. Whilst we're here though, let's take a little trip through that mirror, shall we? Honestly, this feels like when SpongeBob gets on the wrong bus and goes to rock bottom. This ain't the place you want to be. The doorman don't look pleasant, does he? I've heard this is what the locals look like in Stoke-on-Trent. But one thing it's got going for it, it does have a very good automated taxi service. This is way better than an Uber. On that note though, let's dip. Anyway. Tell you what, let's take a quick break at the Zora's Domain. I'll have a chat to this local and see what the score is up here. Oh, that's interesting. I'm a big fan of the throne room. Taking a seat and chucking your legs in the lake, that'd be a fine spot. I'd recommend something easygoing, maybe a Sol. Or my guilty pleasure, a Coors Light. I can get down with a watery beer in a water location. If you take a little wander downstream, you'll get more of a grand atmosphere. There's not many things better than the sound of natural running water. It's so calm up here, nothing could ever frustrate you. CBA. Zora's Domain takes its obvious spot in the penultimate tier. A secret passageway takes us to our next location. If you equip yourself with a handy bomb and blow up this handy rock, you'll be met with an incredible view of Hyrule Castle. Oh, hold on, let me... There we go. Now that's a lovely view of Hyrule Castle. You taking the piss? Look how many arrows he's got sticking out his head, man. I've nearly spent a full day night cycle shooting this twat. But you know what? Looks a bit ominous now in the dark. Let's take a careful walk over to Hyrule Castle and Castletown. The weather is a bit foreboding. The locations really take a big difference depending on what time of day that you visit. Castletown is silent when it's nighttime. Only your footsteps for company. But it leads us to one of my favourite spots, overlooking the courtyard of Hyrule Castle with your pal. A deep thoughts, introspective balcony beer is one that really can't be beaten. This goes in the top tier. Unreal. The permanent rain that surrounds the castle might put a bit of a dampener on your drinking mood. But whilst you're here, that might be for good reason. The castle grounds continuously feel like somewhere that you just shouldn't be. But they do have these barrels. And a big box of scampi fries, so it's not all bad. The bouncer can be a bit unruly, so make sure you're in the dress code. Inside the castle is no better. Way too much chandelier going on for my liking. And the decor is a bit dated. Maybe on top of that, the overwhelming sense of doom might get to you after a while. I think the best thing to do is politely leave. This one's going in nowhere. To make sure I didn't miss out on any great spots, I had the community Discord help me for a few locations. The Cougar Hunter suggests Thelma's Bar. Let's go check it out. Here's the thing with Thelma's Bar. It's a bar. A bar is always good. Fresh meats behind the counter, a few folks to chat to, and a cat. Love cats. Oh, it's James.
What?
It looks like small James.
Yes, the boys. I'm trying to read. Where?
Boys are back in town.
Next we've got Linky's idea, who suggests Yetta's sitting room.
So what is this imp thing?
She's from the Twilight realm and is trying to get revenge on some guy and uses you to get revenge on that guy. And then at some point she's like, maybe we should just like save the world instead.
He looks a bit like James's dad.
This spot comes courtesy of two very friendly Yetis. And off the bat, I'm a huge fan. Summer's ending soon, and it reminds me of when you go to the pub and they've got the little fire on. Pint and some food with your mates, good vibes. Gets the Kabagman seal of approval. And of course it goes in Gornen. Up next is Huber Lambic's idea to go to the hot springs. Good shout. I'm inclined to agree. Not much going on in Kakariko Village. The springs are the talk of the town. And hey, if it's good enough for the chicken, it's good enough for me. But the real springs are the ones you'll find at Death Mountain.
I actually managed to get some footage of James as a toddler.
Kabagman, I'm smoking me pipe. Kabagman, do you want to do some snush? Do you reckon it'd be a good idea to have a beer in a bomb shop?
That guy looked like such a gorm. Mouth breather alert.
Ah!
Oh shit, it's a laboratory.
This is where they make xanthan gum. Nicest 3 million house in Hackney. After a mild detour, I finally found my way there. And let me tell you, this is the spot. You've got Gorons and even a few Zora knocking about. Multiculturalism at its finest. And hey, they even serve milk. Poolside bar and hot water. Perfect. That was close.
Okay.
I nearly forgot about the hidden village, but I'm glad I didn't, because they've got cats. An abandoned village just filled by one old lady and a couple felines. A lovely place.
This is the saddest bar I've ever seen.
Look, I can pick up the cat.
Okay, that's actually kind of sick. Okay, the fact that you can pick up cats is sick.
Last on the list is Holy Junkie's idea to sit on the fence at the goat farm. And I did wonder, how am I going to get up there? But then I remembered I could just jump. I'm sure this is exactly what you had in mind. Auden Village is a humble place, and I think it's best to visit here in the evening. The nice sunset glow does it best. Not somewhere I'd want to get too leery. You know, let's not drink 20 beers. Maybe just a nice 1 or 2. Out on the river, overlooking the windmill. Running water and the sound of nature, that's nice. Cast out a line for some fun, and then go home and eat some pumpkin pie. A place to unwind, not unleash. Sometimes, there's no place like home. Not to sob-story you too much, but recently I've been having a bit of a tough time. My kitchen ceiling fell through, and then I got made redundant. So I did what any logical person would do in the moment. I went to the pub and had a star of ramen. It was nice, but I wanted something more peaceful. I wanted my own sacred grove, somewhere only I know that I can escape. And for that personal reason for me right now, this is my best spot for a beer in Twilight Princess. Thank you to my amazing channel members, Consnip, Metalpipe68, Young Mallard, Salat Stevius, A Eat Null, Chance, Vanilla Gorilla, The Cougar Hunter, Evil Go Lady, Erasal V4, Brad, Steph, Caffeine, Timster, and Cyber Kitty. I'll see you next time.